Look now at what's to come over this first week. Some events have, of course, already started. That's the case for football. France's men's team was smashed by Mexico 4-1 in their opener on Thursday. Archery is just getting underway, while baseball makes its return to the games. Teddy Riner, as we mentioned, of course, will be looking to write history as Judo begins this weekend. And the swimming events are, of course, going to be gaining a lot of attraction. But all eyes will, of course, be on Simone Biles, who'll be looking to dominate and continue to dominate gymnastics. Athletics, of course, will then be taking up much of the second week. All right, let's return to Tokyo now. And Simon, of course, the games are getting started. Can we expect to see more excitement, as we've been mentioning in the show, from Japan, but also from around the world?
I think it's inevitable that people are going to tune in, and the atmosphere, the expectations, the excitement is just going to crank up a notch as the days produce. We heard Michael Payne say exactly that just a few minutes ago, that once the medals start falling for the Japanese public, they are going to start weighing in heavily interest-wise on the games, perhaps even force the government's hand to allow some fans into the stadium. That's certainly the wish of the International Olympic Committee, that have made it clear that they hope that some fans at some point are going to be able to watch the games. The venues all across Tokyo are going to make it very interesting. We hope that that is going to allow many people to take part in the games, to fully immerse themselves in the games. But of course, James, it's very early to call. We can only speculate at this time, and we are waiting for the games to go ahead and to start after this opening ceremony for people to really engage with them.
It's early to call, but of course things are taking off slowly. Surely for athletes, this comes with a sense of relief.
It is a sense of relief for athletes. Thomas Bach, the IOC president, said that, or said at the time when the Olympics were cancelled because of the initial outbreak of COVID-19, that these games in Tokyo would be a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, certainly we haven't come out of that tunnel yet, but there is certainly the feeling that with the athletes being here, with the efforts being put in to commit to these games, that the feeling is that they can compete to the best of their ability. But a lot of it is still yet to notch up. We are still waiting for everyone to hit the ground running. There's only a select few sports that have started yet. No medals won, and that will start from Saturday onwards, with already medals in cycling and judo to be decided.
And so as they're coming in, for us who aren't in Tokyo, aren't in Japan, how are people adapting to, of course, these very new surroundings?
Well, I think the conditions are going to be extremely important to bear in mind. At the previous Tokyo Olympics back in 1964, the Games had actually been moved to October to try and alleviate the athletes from the incredible heat that is part of this summer. We're reaching very high temperatures, 35, 36 degrees at times, and the humidity levels are also incredibly high, which makes sweating, the release of sweat, the release of perspiration very difficult for the athletes, who have had to train in very special conditions, using special equipment to try and acclimatize themselves to what the conditions would be here in Tokyo. The organization, who opted not to have games later in the year because notably of television rights shared across the board for broadcasters, have somewhat decided to try and help athletes as much as possible. So incredibly arduous events such as the marathon, such as the 50-kilometer walk, are being moved to cooler places in Japan. They're also going to be very early in the morning to try and avoid the acute heat that hits the country for most of the day. So it certainly aren't going to be easy conditions, but of course in adversity you thrive, and that is certainly what we're going to see from these athletes.
Let's hope we see